So today's video is going to be different. I know most of you expect me to finish the Jupiter's Legacy videos, but I will do that on Monday. Let's talk about Rat City today. Because if you're like me, you have had strong interest in the Spawn comics. Well, this is a Spawn comic anyone can get into right now because it's literally just starting. This is Spawn of the future, and the name of this comic is Rat City. So sit down, grab some popcorn, and let me talk about this comic. And yeah, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and drop a like below and drop a comment too. Now let's begin. In a world where chaos reigns, this is the era of World War III and technology is running rampant. We follow our MC, his name being Peter. He's a member of a Black Ops unit, hired to do any wet work the government needs handling. Like, basically, they're the assassins for the government. So they have been charged with infiltrating this manor, whose resident is currently like a crime boss who is holding aid that was supposed to go to the people and keeping it for himself. What a prick. Infiltrating the manor was easy enough, but the main goal was to come here clean and extract the crime boss without taking any lives. But in any group of mercenaries, there's always one guy that just likes blood. One guy who's just there for the fight. And we see that one guy because after his leader of this squad told him to stand down, he still went out of his way to put a bullet in this young kid. That was messed up. And everyone knew that was messed up, but they know what he's like. So they just push it off because they had a mission to complete. So they carried the body out of the way. And his boss gave him the direct order to follow his leadership or ball out. Like it wasn't even up for debate. So he agreed, but he didn't really agree because he still ended up killing a lot of people. I mean, some deaths you could say are unavoidable. Security, bodyguards, mercenaries. But some deaths were really avoidable. Like this prick here who was just having a fun time. They just knocked him out, thankfully. But I mean, he still died at the end of the day. But you find out how. But time was being wasted. They had a schedule to keep. So when they got to the boss's room, they didn't play about it. They messed up his door. They were supposed to carry out a face scan to be sure this was their target to extract. But he wasn't listening. He just put a bullet in the boss's head. Even Shorty was like, bruh, I was scanning his head. And you know we're meant to bring him alive. He just said, don't worry about it. That was him. Like, bruh, you had a plan. Peter went to secure a vehicle so they could use to escape, calling in to find out if the package was in hand, but it wasn't. The package was out of play. All because someone had a trigger finger. But honestly, I genuinely believe he was on a separate mission to kill that guy because it seems like he was dead ass just killing everyone at this point. Anyways, they got the vehicles moving and they took off. It was a complete mission. Everyone was safe and alive. They didn't get the package, but that didn't really matter because they had not escaped. Someone was launching cannon blast and took out a whole truck. The second shot was coming for Peter's truck, and he honestly tried to get out of the way as quick as he could, but he was slow. He was human, and that cost him his legs. The truck was on his legs. He couldn't feel his legs. He couldn't move, and half of his team were dead. This was a failed mission. This was how the story began. A few months go by and he qualified to get amputated and get robotic legs. He tested positives because he had the skills. So if they could give him good legs, he would be a good soldier. So he agreed to perform the surgery. He got outfitted with high-tech cybernetic legs that were solid as hell and could carry a lot of weight. But his testing proved for naught, because everyone else was outmatching and outpacing, but he was stuck behind. And it wasn't like he wasn't trying. He really was, but it just didn't pick up, and he was kicked from the program, which sucks. But hey, he gets to keep his new cybernetic legs and use it to clean feces. I mean, that was the next job he got. I mean, bruh, just imagine being a Black Ops agent and next thing you're cleaning feces for a city. And during one of his jobs, something was happening above ground. He couldn't come out, or rather he tried to come out, only to be greeted by some form of energy he has never seen. The energy of the dead. Because somewhere in the multiverse, The original spawn had caused a necromantic explosion that transcended his own reality into other realities. This energy was so big, it literally caused the ground to shake and energy flowing through it, which in turn seeped into Peter's body. He was shocked, uncomfortable. He actually lost his balance and he went crashing straight into the hole, landing on his head. We see that it's not only Peter that's affected. Everyone who had cybernetics were affected. Everyone was shouting in pain. And when Peter awoke, and he was still in this hole, but suddenly he realized that no one was going to help him because he was screaming, so he had to help himself. Using his cybernetic legs, he leaped out of the hole and landed like a badass. You're asking yourself now that why didn't he use this sense? Well, I don't know. He's a freaking donkey, I guess. When he was out, the first thing he saw was rioting. Humans being humans. With this opportunity, they rob, they steal, they kill, and all he wanted to do was go home. But he was stopped on his route to go home because they thought he was going to take what they had. But he just wanted to go home. And you went to go put hands on him? You don't even know his background. This guy killed people for the government. He was a professional ass kicker because he beat everyone who came up to him. And he was possessed. You could feel the spawn spirit entering him, only to get back control and head back home to his shitty apartment provided by the government. This apartment was so shitty, it was supposed to be a closet. When he got home, he got a message from his friend that saved his life, that he discovered something. He remembered the good old days because he was a soldier for his nation. Now he was discarded. But all he wanted to do at this point was take off his legs. But he couldn't. They didn't want to come off. They were permanently sealed to his body. And they were stinging. It hurt like crazy. He was going through it. Such pain, such woes. And when he opened his eyes, somebody stood before him. Spawn. The original Spawn. Ooh, the story's about to go crazy, because you know Spawn be kicking ass. For real, for real.